Dear students, welcome to HE Motive. Today we are just going to discuss on the topic Unit first of 10th level English textbook. So as you can see in the Unit first we have two short stories and a poem. So the first short story is Adventures in a Banyan Tree by Ruskin Bond. So then we have a humorous short story by Vaikam Muhammad Bashir's The Snake and the Mirror. And finally a poem by William Wordsworth, Lines written in early spring. So today we are just going to learn about the story Adventures in a Banyan Tree. You might have heard about a lot of stories related to adventure. Before I am going to just take the story, I would like to add a few things about this unit. This unit, as we can see, the title itself is Glimpses of Green. So the first unit of our English textbook mainly discuss on the theme nature and the relationship between or the bond between man and nature, how the way human being related to nature and each other. So this is the overall theme of the unit. So I don't want to discuss further about the theme of the unit. You might have already learned a lot of lessons related to nature and man in the previous classes. So like that in the 10th standard also you will have to study a nature man related theme. So let us first discuss on the short story Adventures in a Banyan Tree. So Adventures in a Banyan Tree, written by Ruskin Bond. He is a well-known Indian writer. He was actually a British descent. He is just living in Uttarakhand. So mainly his stories are real depiction of Indian society, especially the area he is living, Himalaya and the foothills of Himalayas. These are the major locations in his stories. So our story is also taking place on the foothills of Himalaya, a town named Dehra. So the story is all about writers or maybe the narrator's experience. Here in the story, a boy is just trying to share his experience and what are the major things has been happened in his summer vacation days with his grandfather's or grandparents' house. So that's all about the story. Remember our writer Ruskin Bond, he has already famous for writing stories and novels, especially for children. Now let us think about Adventures in a Banyan Tree. So the title itself is talking about banyan tree. Haven't you ever seen a banyan tree in real life? Okay, don't need to worry. I'm going to show you the banyan tree itself. So this is what a banyan tree just look like. Can you see? A lot of branches are there. Some of the branches are just came down and rooted again and going upward. So this is something look like a complex system, branches with a complex system. And simply we can say mazes of arches are there. Usually children love to play beneath the banyan tree. Not only children, lot of living creature will be there on the banyan tree. So that's all about a banyan tree. Just look like. Now let us start our story. Here in the story we have the narration of a boy. I'll give you the brief summary about the story before I'm going to just take the story completely. The main protagonist or the narrator in the story is a boy, maybe the writer himself. He's just trying to describing his life with his grandparents near Dara foothills of Himalaya. There he lives with his grandparents. In his family, grandfather, grandmother are there. So what is the condition of the house? The entire house is mainly dominated by his grandfather, but except one. You can guess. Yes, except one, that means the old banyan tree. It is as old as the town of Dara. Why couldn't grandfather dominate the banyan tree? It's simple, because grandfather at the age of 65, he is almost 65 right now, could no longer climb upon the tree. So it is why the narrator or the boy says that it is mine, it is under my domain. You can see that who are the major visitors in the banyan tree. A lot of birds are there, different colors of birds are there, especially in the spring season. A lot of birds will flock into the branches of banyan tree, and they will trying to squabble each other. Squabble means make noises. So the boy then gives us a picture about the banyan tree. There at the banyan tree, he got a friend, new friend. It was a small grey squirrel, and his just life with the squirrel is really impressive. How he made friendship with the squirrel, those are the things the narrator, the boy, describes in the story. Then finally you can see that there is an impressive or excited one that has experienced by our narrator. It was nothing, a battle between a mongoose and a cobra beneath the or in the garden near the banyan tree. That was happened to see by our narrator boy on the banyan tree, upon the banyan tree. So that is the second major important excited thing described in the story. And finally the boy also discuss on the strange case of grey squirrel and white rat. It is also something somewhat very impressive.